So what a perfect presentation for me to start off with Dr. Eating and kind of talking about this and stuff. Light is one of, if not the most foundational aspects to life on Earth, right? And so I think that this is the magic pill that we've all been looking for, believe it or not. I don't think it's diet, I think it's light itself. Okay, which one? Okay, so in the Bible, God created light just after he created the heavens and the earth. So we know that life was unable to occur before light, our sun. But this has been heavily overlooked. Within the last 100 or so years, we've managed to completely alter our light environments to a completely foreign and alien environment. And it's stressful for our bodies. So we need to remember what it means to be human and one with nature, because we are nature. We need to return to a biologically consistent environment. So I want to discuss how light interacts with the body, and that's predominantly through the water network. We're roughly 70% water. Babies are much higher than elders because we naturally dehydrate as we age. We become less energy efficient. Now, the water in the body is slightly different than you learned in elementary school. It's between the solid and the liquid phase. We call structured or easy water. It's more like a gelatin type consistency. And this acts as a battery in our cells so that our cells can communicate. It conducts electricity. But just as any battery, it needs to be charged or else it loses efficiency. And that wireless charger is light, our sun itself. Now I want to focus on this upper red rectangle here. This is the light that we see on the surface of the earth. Now think of these as our vital nutrients that we get from the sun. We want to get a little bit of each every single day for a balanced diet. But the sun isn't always emitting all of these colors at once. It happens in a cascade. So what happens, or occurs first on the infrared spectrum side at sunrise, that's the heat that we feel from the sun. And then as the day progresses, it goes towards the UV spectrum and then back down at the end of the day. And it is the changing of the balance of these colors that entrains the body hormonally, metabolically, and behaviorally each day. We need these nutrients, they're vital. So I want to focus in on a couple of vital nutrients. Now, red and infrared light. These spectrums are available all day long, from sun up to sundown. It's the warmth that we feel from the sun, the richness. But these are the frequencies that specifically charge our water network, our battery. Yeah. And also, it produces subcellular melatonin in the body. So when we have increased energy in the cells, we're increasing mitochondrial efficiency. Those are our little engines in our cells. There's thousands of them, and they love red and infrared light. But just as your car has a natural exhaust to using energy, your mitochondria have an exhaust as well. And that's called reactive oxygen species. So we need that subcellular melatonin to act as an antioxidant to clean up that exhaust. So what a beautiful check and balance this spectrum of light provides for us. Now, ultraviolet A light is a non-visual spectrum of light that's available from mid-morning to late afternoon. And when it interacts with the retinas in the eye, it creates happy hormones, such as dopamine and serotonin. And these are reward hormones that make us feel good for doing things that are good for us or when we complete a task so that we do it again. So you can see we're designed to be addicted to the sun. How amazing is that? So that we can get all of our nutrition in. But what's also interesting is that same serotonin later on becomes melatonin in the brain to make us feel sleepy at night. And it also acts, again, as an antioxidant to allow us to regenerate all night so that we make sure our cells are always operating efficiently.
I apologize for you, so I'm just going to move this. Since I recorded the check, we'll shut that.
Now you can see how the cascade of light occurs each day. Each slice has a different content of light. And the key to remember here is that red and infrared are available from that first until that last slice. And the most intense bright frequencies are only available in that midday sun. You can very obviously see it with your eyes. Now, that first and that last slice, although we know that it is predominantly red and infrared light, we can see that. It's actually cueing to the body different reactions within due to their timing. timing is a really big deal with light. Time is a big deal to us as humans as well. Whether we're running late, or you have a long to-do list and we feel like we don't have enough hours in a day, or when us or a loved one falls ill, all we can hope for is more time. So I believe that this is our greatest asset, and we need to capitalize on that asset while we're here to make the greatest impact on the earth. Now, I've created a beautiful picture here today, right? Remain to be energized all day, feeling good, and remain to be regenerating all night, every 24 hours. Now, the thing is, that's not our current reality today. We've altered our light environment within the last 100, 150 years. And so instead of this beautiful balanced picture, we're seeing something that looks more like this. This is how the world looks more to our bodies. It's bright, overexposed, somewhat confusing to look at, and that's due to our indoor lighting, and that is energy efficient LED bulbs, mostly what we use today. Now, it's pretty much the opposite of the sun. The sun always has that red and infrared to balance the intense frequencies. And this is pretty much the opposite. It always has those intense blue and violet frequencies imbalanced with the red and infrared. So not only are these lights cueing to the body that it's daytime all the time, it's a stressor to the body because nowhere in history have we been able to see a light that looks like this. This is foreign, this is new, and only within the last 100 or so years. Now, blue light, I want to focus in on. In a healthy dose from the sun, it helps us feel awake in the morning. It raises our cortisol, that's our alertness hormone, and it raises our sleep hormone, melatonin, so we're not sleeping during the day. And it also raises our dopamine again to make us feel good. Now, in a toxic dose, because we are blue light toxic, we are not charging that battery in our body because there's little to no red and infrared in these bulbs. So we're losing energy. And we're chronically raising our cortisol because it's forever daytime to the body. And we're chronically lowering the sleep hormone, melatonin, but also that's a powerful antioxidant. It's always low. And we're also blunting our dopamine response. So I want to focus in on this. Blunting our dopamine response. Okay. When we're experiencing the same light all the time, it's like hearing the same word over and over and over and over and over. It kind of loses its meaning. So the body becomes numb to that dopamine stimulus, and so we need more things to make us feel good. So that can look like gambling. Ironically, we're here. It could be shopping, gossiping, drugs, which coffee and sugar counts drugs, alcohol, and it could be our technology. Because our technology emits blue light, so it lowers our dopamine by looking at it. But the content on the screen addicts us to it. Whether it's what the media is putting out or we're scrolling on TikTok, it doesn't matter. We are so addicted to our phones. I mean, how many people do you see walking around like zombies on their phone all day because they're starving for that dopamine hit? They need nutrition in their life through light. Now, blue light's also lowering our melatonin chronically. So this is kind of like when your car's check or change oil light turns on. I could probably drive my car quite a while with that light on, and it'll still get me from point A to point B. But eventually, maybe another light's going to turn on and another light, and eventually I'm going to have to take it to the mechanic and pay my dues for ignoring my car. Now, in your body, you accumulate symptoms because your body's not regenerating. And it might not be so bad at first, but you're going to accumulate so many symptoms that you're going to be forced to go to the doctor because you feel so horrible on a daily basis. And we know that low melatonin is associated with all chronic disease, including long COVID and cancer, because the body cannot repair itself at a cellular level. And this is getting even deeper than just an individual level. It's impacting the future of our kind. Now, our mothers pass on their mitochondrial DNA to us. And if a mother is living in a blue light toxic environment, she's passing on faulty mitochondrial DNA to her children. And so these children are prone to chronically high cortisol, fight or flight, chronically low melatonin, and chronically low dopamine. Our children are being born with very poor mental health, but most importantly, they're being born with less water. We're chronically dehydrated due to our light environment. And remember what I said about with the child and the elder, that we naturally dehydrate as we age. So in a blue light toxic environment, our children are being born at a higher cellular age. And we're taking their greatest asset from them. So I think that the solutions actually aren't that difficult, but we need to change now to ensure a better future. Now, very simply, if you remember anything from this talk, increase the red and infrared in your life every single day, please. And the best way to do that is to watch a sunrise every single morning for the rest of your life. What a horrible thing to have to do. They're beautiful in Michigan. The less clothes, the better, and hopefully you're not wearing glasses or contacts because that's creating a barrier. But you're getting that pure red and infrared to charge your battery, to start to clean up your cells, and create a cascade of hormones, metabolism, and behavior for the rest of the day because your body knows what time it is outside. And then get outside as often as possible. Instead of during your 15-minute break at work, instead of looking at your phone, go outside and get a real dopamine hit, and you will resync your body clocks to the actual time of day. And you're getting more nutrition that way. Opening windows when you're stuck inside, or if it's too cold to go outside. Windows do create a barrier that create an imbalanced light, so you physically need to open them to let the light in. Candles emit great amounts of red and infrared light, any type of fire. Use them when it's safe, and make sure to blow them out when you're not attending them. And finally, be mindful of screen use. We are on our screens so much. Now you could wear blue light blocking glasses like I have on today, but they need to be tinted. They need to be yellow, orange, or red. If they're clear, they're not doing anything. They're just draining your bank account. Or you could just simply increase the warmth of your screen. You can make it yellow, orange, or red by simply going into settings or downloading software. Now these are great solutions, but we're not going to ignore the fact that we're always going to need light bulbs, right? So we need to change the lights themselves. Now these are brands, I'm not affiliated with any of them. They're just really great brands that make biologically friendly lighting. But the problem is they're $20 to $40 a piece. And that's a lot to light a whole house. So in my brain, if each of us in this room bought one of these bulbs and used it in our most frequently used light fixture, and then we told a friend and they got one, and they told a friend and they told a friend, we could increase demand. And then we can lower the prices, more companies like this can exist, and the education can spread. Because we need our doctors to know this, our hospitals, our surgeons, dentists, architects, electricians, engineers, everybody to know this so that we can return to this beautiful picture that we began with, a balanced, nutrient-rich life. So just imagine a reality where we have restored dopamine. We feel good on a daily basis, addictions are less prevalent, and mental health is improved. And our melatonin is restored. So not only do we sleep well and we wake up feeling rested, but disease isn't so prevalent. And hospital patients actually take less time to recover. But most importantly, our children will be born with the right amount of time so that they can take on their mission in this world and fix the mess that the world is in right now. In this reality, we would have the capacity to deal with the larger issues in the world, like the microplastics in our bodies right now. Like that's a large issue that's going to take time and great minds to come together. So maybe changing your light isn't going to lengthen your life, because life is unpredictable. I can't guarantee you that. But it's going to ensure that we have rich, quality lives, quality time on Earth to make a difference. Now I'm putting the torch in your hands today to make a difference and raise demand for biologically friendly lighting. And hopefully, together, we can make our mitochondria great once again. Thank you for